Yo, 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 what up, what up? It's your boy, Mr. Locario, the bad boy of the dating game. What's good? So, today I wanted to talk about something that I think is very important for people to think about and understand. And what this is basically is I wanted to talk about, how people should never attach their identity to what they do or what they believe. You should never attach your identity to what you do or what you believe. Right? And essentially I could say like what you believe is sort of like what you do, because let's say if you are a Christian or a Muslim or whatever, you believe certain things and then you basically will end up doing certain things and living a certain way because of that belief. But I'm going to, break it up into what you do and what you believe and why you should not attach your identity to that. So basically what this means is that, let's say a person could be, a teacher, a lawyer, an actor, a doctor, a musician, a cheerleader, a freaking chef, and these people identify themselves as this person. They're like, well, I am, Jason Smith and I am a doctor. Right? But then what happens is that since they, identify themselves as what they do, which is the doctor, right? If something happens to where at one point in their life they don't want to be a doctor anymore, or, they feel like doing something else, they have this like sort of like, like funny feeling within themselves, like this turmoil, like, why do I feel like I don't want to do this anymore? And then if I don't do this anymore, if I'm not a doctor, then who the hell am I? Because they've identified with being a doctor so long that if that changes, they feel like they're losing their sense of self. They're like, who am I? And this is why you should not basically attach what you do to your identity, because what you do can change over time. Another thing people do is that they attach what they believe to their identity. So a person might be a Christian, a person might be, Muslim, Jewish, Buddhist, a feminist, a male rights activist, a socialist, a communist, a Democrat, a Republican, whatever it is you believe in, right? So you attach your identity to these things. Now, let's say you have a conversation with somebody else and, they actually, make you think a different way than you've been thinking. Right? Somebody might say something that might make you rethink your belief system. But the thing is that people don't want to change, or people don't want that to happen, because if someone makes you rethink your belief system, it's basically almost saying that you need to rethink yourself, but you know who you are, because now basically what happened is since you attach your identity to what you believe, then if what you believe changes, or what you believe has, been proven to you to not make sense or be wrong in your eyes, or you've noticed that something, is not right, then basically it almost is like you're saying that you're not right. If you believe something and then you find out what you believe, doesn't make sense to you anymore, or is the wrong thing, then you're going to say to yourself that, well, that must mean that I'm the wrong thing, or something's wrong with me. And this is why a lot of times, if you notice, if you have a debate with someone who is, and I'm going to say like someone who's like religious or something, and let's say you try to prove or disprove or whatever a certain, thing about their religion, they will fight you on it. They will fight to protect what they believe, even if they know that what you're saying makes more sense, even if they know that what you're saying might be right. They're going to fight you on it because they can't have you disrupting their belief system. Because if you do that, since they attach their identity to that, you're basically telling them that whatever you're saying is wrong about what they thought, you're saying that they are wrong. So let's say even if a person is, let's say if a person hates gay people and he believes gay people are wrong and they're disgusting or whatever. And then let's say, you have a conversation with this person who doesn't, who hates gay people or whatever and thinks, all gay people should die or whatever, or some stupid shit, right? If you have a conversation with him and then you school him on to certain things, maybe, and then he realizes, well, maybe I was wrong about this whole gay people should die thing. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't want to admit that his beliefs, he thinks that his beliefs are wrong now, because then that's essentially saying that he is wrong. And the reason why the reason why that's happening is because he's attaching his beliefs to who he is. He's attaching his beliefs to his identity. So, a lot of people will fight you on their beliefs because they don't want to, change their beliefs, because it's basically saying I have to change myself. And if I change myself, who the fuck am I? I don't understand who I am. I lose my sense of self. You understand? So this is why you shouldn't attach what you do or what you believe to your identity, because those things that you're doing or believing can change. And the thing is the reason why you shouldn't attach yourself to it is because if you do, you are going to stop the process of you growing. Because what you're going to do is you're going to say, well, even though I'm a doctor and I want to probably become like a teacher now, or a chef, because that's, I'm feeling that passion to do that instead of being a doctor. What you're going to do is you're going to say, you know what? Well, fuck that. I can't do that. I'm a doctor. That's what I do. I'm just going to stay doing this doctor thing because that's what I'm doing. Everyone tells me I'm a good doctor. Everybody calls me Dr. Smith or whatever. Everyone tells me that, they know me as a doctor. So how can I just stop being a doctor? I can't. That's what I do. And this is what a lot of people, go through. A lot of people do this, and when change occurs or change is happening, within themselves or just their circumstances or whatever, or change in their beliefs, they try to fight it because they're basically fighting to keep this false sense of self, because the false sense of self is them attaching their identity to what they do or what they believe. You understand? And the thing is that it's going to stop you from growing if you do that. You have to be able to embrace your beliefs and what you do at all times, because it can change. So when that change is occurring, you should be able to basically just accept it and then see where you're at that moment. And the thing is that when you don't attach your identity to these things, it's easier to do, because now you don't have to feel like, you're, just because you are doing this thing or believing this thing, that has to hold you captive for the rest of your life. You understand? Like even myself, I'll use myself as an example. Like, back in the day, I was a super, player. Like I was the dude that was just, on some player shit, and people knew me as that. And, I was like, yeah, I'm a player. I got mad chicks. I'm doing this, blah, blah, blah. And then as I got older, I kind of like felt weird about the fact that, I don't feel the same exact way I did at a certain point. Like this whole, me being a player thing isn't, where I'm at a certain point. And it was like I was kind of going through a tough time, because I was like, if I'm not doing that, what's going on? Like people know me as that. I'm good at doing this thing. And then it's like I had instead of just, being a player, I had a passion for, to start teaching guys how to talk to girls and do all this other stuff. So I was like, basically, I turned from being a player to being a teacher. You understand? So, then teaching this game. But I didn't fight it. I embraced it. I mean, I kind of was fighting it a little bit, because I'm just like, man, this is weird, because I'm so used to, doing this player thing. And then I attach that to my identity. And then I said, well, if I'm not doing this player thing, then it doesn't make, like, my life doesn't make sense. I don't understand what I'm doing. And that's what happens with a lot of people. And this is why, it's not a good idea to attach your identity to what you do or what you believe, because those things can change over time. And you don't want to get caught up in you just feeling like that is, the only thing that you need to do, or the only thing that, you're about, and feel like that you can't embrace change. Because that, we're going to change at different moments in time and different, times in our lives. You understand? I remember I think I read a quote somewhere. I can't remember exactly what it said, but it said something like, if you're the same person at 25 as you are at 35, then you've wasted 10 years of your life or something like that. And that's basically what we're talking about here. And the thing is that people, they don't give themselves space to grow and space to evolve and space to do certain things. And now let me put a little disclaimer here, because when you say evolve and grow, whatever, me being a player and then growing from to not being a player and doing something else with this does not mean that being a player is lesser, because I actually had a friend who was basically this one woman guy, and then he grew into being a player, you understand, and that's what he wanted to do at a certain point, be a player. So there's, I don't want you to get that confused, because I know how some people want to, look at it that way, like, oh, this is better. This is no. It's not. It's not about better and worse. It's about you as an individual understanding where you're at and what you're doing and what you believe in, and your thoughts and your feelings and your desires and all these other things, and really accepting, the growth as a person, growth as what you're about now, and not being afraid of that. And not having this, turmoil or dilemma when you feel the changes happening, because a lot of people, since they attach their identity to what they do and what they believe, they keep going through this, excuse me, they keep going through this like issue of their sense of self. They feel like they're losing their sense of self by believing that their identity is attached to who they are and what they believe. All right. So that is it. That's all I want to say for today. You guys hit me up at askmrlocario@gmail.com. Make sure you go to mrlocario.com, click on the members tab and become a member. You get 45 to 90-minute audios every month. And I will holler at you guys later. Remember, the truth is inside you. Peace.